enables a lot of people to interview over a long period of time. Did they come out with what works? Did you have to search deep for it? How did you get connected with each of these people?
So first, I had two ways. One of them was through the word of mouth. So I would just ask. I believe in the power of asking. It's so huge, especially when you're an artist and low budget, and things start to come to you, and you're like, oh my God, I'm resourceful. I don't need money. Like money is just one tool, but there is more. And asking is huge. Another one I tried, which didn't work, was calling shelters, but because they were, like anonymous, they didn't want to collaborate. So I primarily wanted to interview 20 people, but then there were a man who wanted to be interviewed, and people, all genders. And at the end, I found people who have been diagnosed, like you can see at the very end, people with narcissistic personality traits, and they wanted to share their journey, and I was fascinated. Because I almost, the idea of Exposé, before Exposé became Exposé, it was a catharsis that actually I made a short movie, which never was released, but the short movies you do and you never release them, but something else comes out of it, and anyways. But, so it was cathartical, yeah, experience of, at the end, people coming to me and asking me, can I be part of it? Because, as I said, I planned 20 people, and it felt like, sometimes when you leave those relationships, you almost need a closure. Like you feel like, why he doesn't call, or why she, So it feels like this was kind of therapeutical, in a way, like how people used to, like how trauma gets released. It gets released through the compassion and through being present emotionally.
And not everybody gets to that point of closure. I mean, not everybody, people who are at various different stages of working through their traumas as well. Some people, that you would never even imagine are going through their traumas, hide it well behind masks. And at the same time, for everybody who's, when you're walking through this path, you have to tread very, very carefully on the hallowed ground of other people's sufferings. And make sure that, again, you can't just bulldoze your way in and say, okay, tell us your dark stories or your dark journeys, because that could open up a can of worms as well. So there's a very, strong delicacy with which you have to approach that subject as well. How did you find that for you mentioned a lot of people, it felt like there was some closure. Was there anybody who felt that it opened up new wounds as well? Or just...
Yeah, I feel, recently we had a call, like a callback. Like I organized a meeting after those, because it took 4 years to gather all those 88 interviews, and honestly, it was like opening Pandora box. It really was. For me and for those 88 people, like it felt so much deeper than I ever planned. And I can speak about myself, but yeah, I had to do a lot of healing, and I realized I was surviving through doing this documentary myself. And then I realized how much when you're surviving, it impacts your work quality. Like you literally cannot thrive through your art as an artist when you are not thriving personally. That was my insight. And on this call, which was on Thursday, I'm honored to know those people, and I know they have beautiful life with or without Exposé. But I'm just happy I got to meet them, because what I heard on this call was like how they are using their story to help others. That's why I called it Exposé movement, because it's not just the video, people sharing, but what they do, who they are in daily life. Like, for example, when something feels not good in their body, to say, hey, this is not okay, I don't like it, and just being okay with confronting. So the message behind Exposé is to be able to express yourself, especially when something feels off. It could be not only romantically, but in business. And and just say, hey, and I think that's how we are changing the system. That's how we evolve as a human. We are able to, stand in a group and like, this is not okay, even though it doesn't feel comfortable because we're supposed to be sitting. And it's like being okay with being out of the box, and yeah, and so that's like the path we are all going for.
Well, it's been a very brave subject, very brave one to approach. It's been difficult to watch, because
Oh, yeah,
watching people in
triggering.
exactly in the suffering, but at the same time, it's better to, in certain circumstances, to bring it to the surface, to allow movement to happen. Of course, overcoming suffering isn't just a destination, it's a journey, and sometimes that journey continues longer than we want it to, but it leads us to places where there's parts of opening up new doors of opportunity where the light comes in again. So, well done, thank you for taking on that brave subject.
Thank you so much.